Wow. So, I played HeartGold and SoulSilver for the first time, and I must say, what a game. What a game. Now, do I personally believe it's the best remake of all time? Potentially. After playing Oras recently and just seeing how Pokemon has evolved over the years and their take on remakes or remasters, whatever they want to call them nowadays, I must say HeartGold and SoulSilver, it's pretty damn good. Before we get into it, please like, subscribe. That is the best way to support me for free. Thank you guys so much for all the support you've given me over the years. This channel is about to turn 5 years old in May, so thank you guys so much. Sorry, 6 years old. 6. Can't believe it. But let's get right into it. HeartGold and SoulSilver. Now, me personally, I never ever played a Johto game before. There are certain small memories of me playing Gold, Silver, and Crystal back when I was a kid on the Game Boy Color, but they weren't my games. I never played HeartGold and SoulSilver when they first came out in the United States. I believe they came out in 2010. And for what reasons, we may never know. It's, again, just like Platinum, just like Black 2, I just didn't think they were that interesting. I already have a copy of Fire Red and Leaf Green. That's already half the game. Of course, that's logged in the post game. But I just don't know what has gone into me lately of not picking up games that I should be playing. But I'm glad that I ended up years later playing this game, and I have no regrets whatsoever. Let's talk about the game. Let's talk about the team that I have. So, I decided to mess around and just get all the Johto starters because, I want to have a fun time. You can clearly tell which Pokemon are the Pokemon I was training and my HM slaves. And I got the Charmander, of course. But first and foremost, the music in this game, it's good. It's phenomenal. It's amazing. I think regardless of how bad a Pokemon game may be, I'm not saying this game is bad. The OST of each Pokemon game is always going to be phenomenal. Maybe outside of Scarlet and Violet, I'm not really a big fan of the music. It still smashes every now and then, but I just think that music with Pokemon is just undefeated. Let's just make a Pokemon album. Remake all of the soundtracks, and I think it's going to sell like hotcakes. Walking animations, walking Pokemon. Yeah, this is probably one of the first games to do it. Now, of course, there are the older games that did this. But I think HeartGold and SoulSilver perfected what walking animation should be. The Pokemon should not be dragging its feet. It should not be, trying to catch up with you. It should just be straight and to the point. Like this Typhlosion. I'm walking around. You don't see like the current animations of Pokemon where they're just slowly, trying to catch up and they don't. Or they get stuck on a ledge or something. No, that doesn't work around here. You can easily maneuver like this. I don't know why Game Freak did not want to keep this kind of like technicality in the first place. Just so weird. Alright, now we're going to talk about the most important aspect of the game. I think one of the biggest aspects of the game is, of course, the 2-region map. Phenomenal. I loved Johto. I kind of have a very, interesting opinion in regards to Johto. I feel like Johto, compared to the rest of the other games, it doesn't seem like it's very up with the times. I don't know how to explain it. I feel like it uses mythology here the most. Of course, Sinnoh, they have deities. Here, they don't have deities. They don't have, Pokemon rampaging around and trying to end the world kind of things. Because that's not really the whole point. I mean, yes, there's Team Rocket, but they're not trying to end the world. The Pokemon themselves are not trying to end the world either. But I think the story building in regards of mythology and, the 3 legendary beasts and Ho-Oh and Lugia, it works really well. It might be a minute story, in regards to the other games that have way bigger stories and the legendaries are more vastly involved with, conflicts. In here, I feel like storytelling, mythology, and simply just using art and recreations of past times really pops the story very well. Of course, Team Rocket is here again. No surprise there. I mean, everyone loves Team Rocket, regardless of you think their ambitions are a little crazier now. They're pretty straight to the point. They want to take over the world in a way of using Pokemon and using them as tools, abuse them, whatever they want to do, make money. That's a pretty simple story plot. And then when you blend it with the actual ideals and storytelling of such Pokemon games like HeartGold, it makes it a good and straight to the point kind of story. Not something that's going to be left off at the very end of the game, or you have to play the post game to understand what's going on here. No, not none of that nonsense. I think HeartGold and SoulSilver by far are probably like the best storytelling games in the mainline series. Now we're gonna talk about the post story, because I think that's really what got me into playing into this game. And I will say, like, the last time I played a Kanto game was Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee. Some people think those are not mainline Pokemon games. I still think they do. But when I compare my journey with this game to other Pokemon games, the first game that came to mind was Pokemon Leaf Green and Fire Red, because I did play those games in entirety, and I did play the post story, and I logged in hundreds and hundreds of hours. As a matter of fact, I still have my copy of Pokemon Leaf Green and Fire Red to this day. And when I first came here, about last week, literally last week, I completed like the main story, and I actually got all the 16 badges. If you guys want to check that out right here. When I first played the post story and collected the badges, the first thing was like, wow, my childhood was like, it was just nostalgia after nostalgia after nostalgia attack, because just seeing your childhood memories more revamped in a way more proper technique than, of course, the most recent remake, that is Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl, which is sad to say. Like, those remakes just flopped like crazy. But to see stuff like this, to see like the older Pokemon games have way more value than the current Pokemon games, is just asinine. Like, the fact that we're devolving. Someone put the Everstone on Game Freak because they're not evolving. It's time to change, man. Because how in the hell are the older games way more valuable, literally and figuratively, than the current Pokemon games? If you wanted to pick up a brand new copy of HeartGold and SoulSilver, it's going to run your pockets. Now, I have a digital copy, thank goodness. But if you wanted like a full-on new copy of HeartGold and SoulSilver, and if you want the Pokewalker, which I'm not even going to go into that because I don't have one. I don't have that much memory of using one. It's going to run you $380 and higher. $400 probably. That's if you can find one in good condition. And I feel like if I was Game Freak, these games would need to be in some sort of library. The Nintendo Switch has a lot of opportunity for that. Now, obviously, a Nintendo Switch has its limitations. It's not a dual screen software. It doesn't have that capability. We saw that with Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl. It doesn't have that capability. But I will say, Game Freak should start preserving their games more often, and games that people enjoy. Games that make it seem like they really care about the past. Because how on earth are you going to make Pokemon games without going back in the past and seeing what's working and what's not? Now, obviously, they have a habit of cutting out features or making things a little bit worse than usual nowadays. But again, just relive the past. what made the Pokemon experience really pop back in the day? What really made us want to play this game and put in hundreds and hundreds of hours? Now, I've put in approximately, if I can check my actual game file here, I put in approximately 17 hours. Not bad. I mean, pretty much I played the story and all that. I did face Red in the finale, which, oh my god, that was a pretty difficult fight, even for my Pokemon. It was a little bit too much with 3 Pokemon. I still managed because of my starters are starters. The power of friendship, guys. And yeah, my experience with this game, it was great. Now, I'm glad they decided to revamp the 4th gen engine a little bit here. Instead of using Diamond and Pearl, they used a little bit of Platinum and they sprinkled a little more efficiency when it came to using this engine, because the battles seem pretty, they flowed pretty good, and the animations look all right, and they're basically using the same animations here. And I think overall the game flowed very well. It wasn't very hand-holding. You still have to like think about where you need to go. The NPCs and the characters you meet over the region, they will tell you like where you need to go and where, what's going on, what the hell's happening here, or all that stuff. I do think that they're not difficult games to play, but you will need a little bit of hindsight in order to understand where you need to go. Especially, I was kind of lost in the post story because I thought there has a specific way to do the gym challenges, which you don't need to. You can challenge any gym you want in any specific order, whatever you want to do. There is no specific order. I had fun. Playing this game, and just seeing Kanto again in its actual true state. I don't think Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee are their true states, because obviously there's a big mechanic missing in those games, and it's basically made for the newer audience. But for the older audience, looking back at Fire Red and Leaf Green and then comparing it to Heart Gold and Soul Silver post story, damn, it was really, really good. Really, really good. I loved refacing Brock, Misty, Lieutenant Surge, Blue. Those are memorable characters for me that I still know to this day. And speaking of memorable characters, I'm having a hard time now memorizing specific gym leaders from our current games. The only one I care about in Scarlet and Violet is Larry. Pretty easy to memorize, and he's a pretty much a relatable character. But for the current Pokemon games, it's starting to become a big issue here. Like, if we can't relate to the characters that we have to confront every day, the game just doesn't become entertaining for me, honestly. And playing this, I finally get to say that I have officially played every single game in the core series outside of the first 2 generations, which are Red, Blue, Yellow, Green, and then we got Gold, Silver, Crystal. I'm not going to play those games because the remakes do a way better job at retelling the story in a more modern, up to scale, updated mechanics and all that. So I'm definitely not going to play those games. I've seen gameplay of those, and thank goodness I'm not playing those games, because oh my god. But I can finally say, after playing Platinum, Black 2, and Heart Gold, I have officially played all the core mainline series games in Pokemon, the more modern ones. And if I had to rate Heart Gold and Soul Silver, I'm going to give it a 9 out of 10. My only issue, and the only issue that I have with these games, is the EXP grind. For some reason, don't know what it is, it's pretty hard to face high-level trainers up until the Elite Four. So it takes a while for me to grind. And I know for a fact that after playing the current Pokemon games, we're kind of spoiled. Because the grind back then was pretty harsh. Unless you had an EXP share and lucky eggs and all that. which I actually ended up getting a lucky egg and I think 2 XP shares because I got one traded over. So I used that just to train my Pokemon. They weren't actually under leveled, but at least the challenge was there. The challenge to, you know, continue the journey and not fall halfway through. I think the biggest challenges I've had was probably the red battle on Mount Silver, and that was pretty much it. But overall, I had fun with this game. I'm gonna give it a 9 out of 10. The only biggest issue, and I think this was the issue that a lot of people had with these games, is just the grinding. There's not enough high-level Pokemon to grind, therefore your Pokemon might seem under-leveled, and then once you start going through the post-game, you're gonna start realizing, oh man, maybe I should be grinding a lot more. But that's all I have for this video. Let me know what you guys think about HeartGold and SoulSilver, and appreciate all the support once again. You guys are amazing. You guys have been here for quite a while. Again, it's about to be 6 years with this channel. I can't wait to see what the next adventure is, and who knows, I will see you guys on the next video. Peace.